Greetings everyone, this is Bakar Kauri from TFT Perspective, and today we are going to discuss a very important event which just happened, I think, 1 hour back. There was a meet between President Zelensky of Ukraine and President Trump in the Oval Office, and this was supposed to be followed by a press conference which was never held. And there's been a bombshell which has really exploded in Oval Office, and it appears that transatlantic partnership will come under a lot of stress. So just to recap, that before Zelensky came to White House, there was a flurry of events taking place in European Union and UK, and then there were visits which may have been scheduled earlier, but it appears that they were connected to Russia-Ukraine war. We had President Macron of France coming in good mood, but we could feel the diplomatic tension when he was doing press conference with Trump or meeting in the Oval Office, and there were certain areas of disagreement. But these were done, within, let's say, diplomatic norms, so-called diplomatic norms, because now we see in this post-truth era that probably there'll be less of diplomatic norms and more of hard talk and straight talk. So this is where we are. This was followed by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who came in good mood and also, said that he presented a letter from King Charles of England. I don't know what was there, but he said this was unprecedented. This was also presented during the meeting in the Oval Office. This was also followed by a press conference. It appeared that we are getting very close to a mineral deal. Mainly, I think this is a ploy to basically push Trump's policy for peace. We'll come to why we support as a channel Trump's effort, because ultimately a lot of people have lost lives. Now coming to the meet itself, which was supposed to be followed by a press conference, which was never held. As Trump says that had he been president, there have been no war between Russia, Ukraine, or let's say Palestine and Israel. But here we are. So the press conference, the meet between President Trump and Zelensky was held in the glare of media. We had the entire team from both sides, and it was very interesting. The Ukrainian ambassador to US or the other advisors and ministers with him, and on the other side we had Trump and his team. But definitely J.D. Vance, the vice president, was very, very prominent, and there was something unprecedented. Vice president generally, one of course, don't butt in such meets because it's prerogative of the presidents, and this is done almost at equal term despite the size. But this time we saw that J.D. Vance actually went across the fence. When the meet started, it appeared that President Zelensky was quite tense. This was reported by the Western media, especially CNN also. And then the discussion started on why peace was important. President Trump was trying to convince him that there were a lot of people, a lot of real estate, destruction of cities and infrastructure, and probably without American support, war cannot continue, and they'll be left on their own. And then Zelensky started, responding, maybe very boldly or harshly. Within that, then came the, the lukma, as we say it in Urdu, from J.D. Vance, and this, I think, turned everything upside down. He basically pointed out that one, Ukraine couldn't win a war. Number two, it was a lost cause. Number three, Zelensky, when there was election campaign between Trump and Biden, had sided with actually Biden camp and campaigned against him, and so on and so forth. And then I think Trump picked it from there, and the tone started. Then, if you look at the gestures, and in case you want to, let's say, understand deeply, you must go through the entire meet. The gesturing, even touching of Zelensky's shoulder, and at one stage we can find J.D. Vance and Trump, trying to stop him almost. And then Trump had to say that this was very, very rude. Words to that effect, that somebody comes into Oval Office and kind of disgraces the people here and the American nation or the people. So it ended up, I think, in a fiasco. And then Zelensky left White House without much protocol, and it is now being presumed that there will be no press conference. Probably this has scuttled everything that it was meant for. Now, the analysis, how it could impact, I think, the Transatlantic alliance. This is very, very important because now the European leaders again are huddling themselves, probably in London, what to do, because every time you have interaction with Trump, something interesting comes out. One is, of course, is transatlantic alliance going to hold on? Has President Putin of Russia won the war already? And these are just gimmickries to basically address the issue for the public, and then maybe come out with something. What is the impact of volatility in U.S. policy? This is again very important. We have written on it. Maybe this is published in the coming days in one of the newspapers in Pakistan. There's a lot of volatility in U.S. policy, foreign policy, even now domestic policy. People don't know. Let's say even if this peace deal is made and tomorrow, when Trump leaves, is the U.S. going to follow it in the long term? So this is again, and that's why probably Russians and Chinese may not trust the Americans. Then is the that's the stance coming from the liberal media or the neoliberal cabal, including some Democrat, you know, leaders in the Capitol Hill, like Seth Moulton, a Democrat, was very, very harsh when CNN asked his comments, and he replied that basically Trump was a disgrace and something like that. I think we don't have to repeat that, but this is what he said. There was also, I think, discussion on what will happen to Ukraine on ground, because Trump was very clear that without us, you cannot actually fight the war, and we're the ones who gave you Javelin, the anti-tank weapon systems, which has basically held the Russians. And then, of course, if you look at European media, they are also been quite confused, but taking sides of President Zelensky. There is also, talk of why Trump brought domestic politics in, because when J.D. Vance gave him that lukma, he then started bringing in the Russia hoax, because this was played even, I think, in the first term of President Trump. We remember that Trump had to sack General Flynn as a national security advisor on advice of CIA, because probably there was some Russian links. But now Trump feels that he's empowered because he's got such a tremendous majority backing him that he can do anything. Then, of course, France 24 called it ugly. We had Christian Amanpour also being interviewed by a lot of media houses, and she was again very critical. So all told, I think these are interesting times, and but we feel that I think what President Trump and President Putin are trying to do is to save the world from World War III. Russians have their own concerns. Somehow, the Western media or the liberal media just forgets that how they started impinging on, Russian, let's say, policy and Russian security when they started enticing Ukraine to join NATO and European Union. We remember what was Maidan, in 2014, and how basically it impacted, a pro-Russian kind of, a neutral kind of president was thrown out, and then, the role played by Victoria Nuland and the American ambassador in Ukraine, and the neoliberal cabal. They basically wanted Russia and Ukraine to go into a war. It's very interesting if you want to see the projection. In 1996, there was a study conducted by United States Air Force, the Alternate Future 2025. This was almost, you can say 20 years before, let's say, first Russia-Ukraine clash on Crimea. We talked of, in 1996, think tanks, Russian, American military think tanks were talking of Russia-Ukraine war to take place somewhere in 2014, and it happened. So it means that there was some desire by the American establishment to undermine. But somehow Russia has come very strong out of it. If you look at the economy, it's doing well. The oil sales are all-time high. Despite that, Europe basically adopted another policy and scuttled the Nord Stream. Whosoever did it, I don't know if it was CIA or the Ukrainian agents, but Russia has survived, and also I think gained an upper hand. It's very, very clear now. I'm sure Trump has advisors in the intelligence, in the Pentagon, who was giving the true picture. Maybe he is more wiser than us, but definitely we are for peace, and we feel that maybe This was expected when Zelensky comes here. There will be some fireworks, but this was not expected that it will be of this intensity. So all told, good luck to White House, good luck to Western media, but let's see how the transatlantic alliance now gets itself out of this morass or quagmire, because things don't look very pretty, and President Trump very clearly said that if we leave you, then situation will not be very pretty. I think something worse to that effect. So Otto, let's keep our fingers crossed. But since this has just taken place, I thought of putting a quick comment. Do like and put your comments, because our channel needs some support from our audience, and let's see how things shape up in near future. Thank you very much.